and welcome to my channel, Jules Craft Room, and this is week 3 of the Hearts and Flowers crochet along, and it's going to be in several parts. So this is part 1 and we're doing the sunshine granny square, and that's what we're going to make now. So I'll turn you round and we'll make one together. And this is one I've already made. You can see it's really pretty. I love this this frilly bit design, and there's the back. So it's pretty tidy on the back, which is nice. And yeah, so we're going to start off with our sunshine colour, and we're going to make a 4 chain. So we do a loop, and then we're doing 4 chains. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go into the first chain and slip stitch. Then we do 3 chain, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do 11 trebles into the middle of that circle. It's a bit fiddly. It's 1, 2, and what I'm doing is holding this end bit here against the circle so that I can weave it in as I go along. That's 3. Oop. Lost that one. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So with that first 3 chain that we did and the 11 trebles, that makes 12 trebles altogether. And then you slip stitch into the top of the first 3 chain, and that's what it should look like. There we are. As you can see on the back here, this is pretty much weaved in as we've gone round, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to cut that off there. It's nice and tidy. Right, now we're going to go on to the orange, the cantaloupe colour. I like to start off with a slip stitch when I join, because I don't want it coming undone, but if you do whatever you do normally. Now I tend to start opposite where the end is because I want to weave that end in, but I also want to weave this end in. So I'm going to start opposite to give me a chance to weave this end in before I get to this end. So it says to join in between any space, so it's not the stitch, it's the space between the trebles. So that's what we're doing. That's where I've joined. And then we're doing 3 chain, and that counts as a treble. 1, 2, 3. That counts as a treble. And then we're doing another treble into that same chain space. So that's 2 trebles in there. And then we're going to go along and do trebles in every chain space. And I'm tying that in as I go along. Keep it neat. And then we're weaving in this. Make sure you're catching it as you're going along. That back bit, see? It's making it nice and tidy. Let's call that. And then when you get to there, that last one, you slip stitch into the top of that 3 chain and then join it together. And then again, you're cutting it off because you're changing colour. And that should be how it looks like. So you've got 2 trebles in between each of these trebles from the row before. So now we're going to do the lovely pink colour, which is the deep rose. Now the deep rose, as you can see, you are doing 3 trebles in between the 2 that you did before. So if you look at it, you can see how it was 1 treble, then you've got 2 trebles in the gap, and now you're going to be having 3 trebles. So it says you can start anywhere in any space between the 2 sets. So I'm going to do it roughly opposite my end there, so that I'll be able to weave it in. And you can see that one's pretty much weaved in there, which is good. So again, we're starting off a 3 chain, which counts as a treble. It's 1, 2, 3. And then we're doing 2 trebles into the same chain space. And that counts as our cluster of 3. And then you're going into the next space between the 2, which will be there, and you're doing another cluster of 3 trebles. Like that. And again, between the 2 there, another cluster of 3. This is a lovely flower to do. I've really enjoyed doing this. And again, and then making sure that I'm weaving in that as I go along, that end. And then carry on, and I'll see you at the end. So there, you've got a cluster of 3 in between every cluster of 2, and then you slip stitch into the top of that chain. And we're not changing colour this time, we're sticking with the dusky pink, and we're going to go on to round 4, and this is the really cute frilly bit here, which is very nice, and that is worked into the front loop. So that is worked into this one here. You see you've got these V's and it is worked into the front, this bit here. You're leaving the back because you're going to work into the back when you do the white. So make sure you work into the front loop. Right, so we're starting off. We're going to do 1 chain, that doesn't count as a stitch, and then you're going to do 4 trebles into the front loop of this stitch. So this one's a bit fiddly because you can't see the loop because you came in and joined, so make sure you get that one that's fiddly to start off with. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're doing 4 trebles, and then you do a double crochet into the front loop of the next stitch. That's this one here, like that. And then you're going to do 4 trebles again into the next stitch, the front loop only again. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a double crochet into the next stitch, the front loop, and as you can see, that's giving us that lovely little wavy petal effect that's going to go round. Again, 4 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a double crochet into the next one, and carry on like that all the way around, and I'll see you at the end to start the white bit. Right, so when you get to that last but 1 double crochet, you should have 2 stitches left, so that you can do your 4 trebles in the front loop, 2, 3, 4, and then your double crochet into the last one, and that should make 18 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 petals, and then you know you've got enough. and then fasten off. Right, so this sort of flaps about a bit here, so what I did was I pulled the end through here, and brought it to the back, and then when I weave it in, when I'm doing the back loops, when I weave it in, it'll hold it in place. Right, so now we're going to start the white, or the cream. Now when we're doing the cream, I'll just tidy up these ends because where we've weaved them in, so they're out the way. That one we haven't weaved in yet. So when we start the white, make sure the flower is facing you. Everything we do, all the rounds, all these rounds, it doesn't actually say in the pattern, but you have it facing the right way. So it's always right side facing. Okay. So now we're going to, you can go in any, it doesn't matter particularly, any of these back loops will be fine. There we are. We're joined. Right, so we've attached the cream and we do 3 chain. 1, 2, 3. And then we're doing another treble in the same place. So that 3 chain and that treble counts as your two trebles. Then we're doing 2 chains, and then in the next stitch we do 2 trebles. 1, 2, and that is your first corner. You can see this corner here. That is your first corner. And now we've got to do this little squaring off bit so that we turn this circle into a square. So the next 2 stitches are going to be half trebles. So 1, 2, I'm weaving in the end as I go along. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets, 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3. Then 2 half trebles, 1 in each stitch. That's 1, 2, and then we're going to do our corner again. So in that first stitch we'll do 2 trebles, that's 1, 2, then we'll do 2 chain, and then the next stitch we'll do another 2 trebles, 1, 2. Then when you get to here, you've got where you joined. You've got to make sure that you pick up. It's not so clear, the back stitch there, but you need to pick up a stitch. So this is going to be a half treble. So I'm going to go in like that. That's 1 half treble, and then the next back stitch is another half treble, and I'm weaving in the end as I'm going along as well, so it keeps it all tidy. Now we're going to do the 3 doubles. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 2 half trebles, 1, 2. Right, so that's 2 half trebles, and then we're going to do the 2 trebles for the corner. 1, 2, 2 chain, 1, 2, and then 2 more trebles in the next stitch. 1, 2, and then that should be our square. You can see our square coming together now. I'm going to carry on going round, and I'll meet you at the end. Right, you should have finished with 2 half trebles, and then you slip stitch into the 3 chain that was your first treble, and then that is your square. And you can see the ends are pretty good. We can just cut these bits off here, and they're pretty much weaved in. So we'll do that now. So that's your square. Right, so that was round 5. Now we're going to do round 6. So you're continuing in the white, and they want you to start off in this corner. So what we need to do is slip stitch along here like that, and then into the corner, so that we can start afresh in the corner. And you're going to do 3 chain, 1, 2, 3, and that counts as a treble. And then you're going to do 1 treble into the corner space. You're going to do 2 chain, and then you're going to do 2 trebles, all in the same space. And that is your corner. And then you're just going to treble all the way along here. Now, to make sure your count is right, I've made this mistake in the past. Your next stitch is actually there. It's not here, it's this one here. So sometimes it can get hidden by this, but you need to pull that back, and then you can see you've got a stitch there that needs to be used. So you'll put a treble in there, and then all the way along. And then when you get to this corner, you're doing 2 trebles, 2 chain, and another 2 trebles. And then just check your stitch count. You should have 15 stitches, trebles between the 2 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there should be 15 along there. And then you turn and you do more trebles in every stitch until the next corner, and then you do the corner, and so on until you meet up at the other end with a slip stitch, making sure you go into that stitch here. So when you get here, because you've slip stitched, it's a bit bulky, so you've got to make sure that you do the right number of stitches, otherwise it will stretch out. So if you look here, you can see that that belongs to that. So you only actually need, and this belongs to this, so you only need to do 1 in there. And you can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there only needs to be 1 to give you your 15 stitches. It's easily done that you might do 1 too many and then you'll be out. Your square would be out. Then slip stitch into here. And that's your 15, and then your square is nice and square. Right, so now round 7. So round 7 is 3 chain, but you need to slip stitch into the corner again. We might try that again. So slip stitch into the corner again. There. And you're going to do 3 chain and 1 treble, 2 chain, and then 2 trebles, all into the same corner space. And then this is going to be exactly the same as before. So we'll be going along here, and at the end you will have 19 trebles along the top here between the 2 chain spaces. So it's just a matter of doing trebles all the way along, making sure you go into that first stitch. So just carry on with trebles all the way along, and when you get to the corner space you do 2 trebles, 2 chain, 2 trebles. I'm going to carry on all the way around, and I'll see you for round 8. Right, so I've joined it on here, and I checked again that I've got 19 across here, so when you get to that bit where it's slip stitched, you don't get confused and do an extra stitch. So it's always good to check before you start, so you know that you've got a nice square. So we slip stitch into the corner and then fasten off. So now we're going to start with the oyster colour, which is this lovely pink, and you can see we're doing something slightly different here. So it says you can start in any corner, and you're starting with 3 chain, that's 1, 2, 3, and then you're doing 2 trebles this time. 1, 2, into the same space, then you're doing 2 chain, and then you're doing 3 trebles, all in the same corner space. That's 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to miss 2 trebles, and you're going to 3 treble into that chain space. So miss those 2 and then do 3 in there. That's 1, 2, 3. So you can see there how it's going to make that design. And then we're going to miss 3 this time. When you do it, the first one from the corner, you miss 2, and then you miss 3 and do 3 trebles in that space. That's 1, 2, 3. And then you do the same, miss 3, and then in this chain space you do 1, 2, 3. And again, miss 3, 1, 2, 3, miss 3 again, 1, 2, 3, miss 3 again, 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, and then at the end here you're missing 2 and you're going into the corner space and you're doing 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, 2 chain, and then 3 trebles. 1, 2, 3. And that's what it should look like. So you did your 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles, then you missed 2, you did 3 trebles in that space, you missed 3, you did 3 trebles, missed 3, 3 trebles, missed 3, did 3 trebles. So you should have 8 clusters along the top from the corner space. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it should be like that all the way round. Okay, so carry on and I'll see you at the end. Right, so we've come to the end and then we just slip stitch into the top of the 3 chain, and then you can stitch that over just to make it look a bit neater to the corner. Right, and hopefully the back of yours will look like mine, where we've weaved in all the ends and we just have to cut them off. You can see how that's been weaved in, so you can cut that off, and that one there has been weaved in, it's been cut it off, and we cut the other ones off before. So it's nice and tidy and you haven't got any ends to weave in at the end. Right, and that's ready to be put together with the other one. Okay, so I'll see you in a bit.